they're watching. Or threats? You've heard of Bigfoot. You've heard of ghost stories. But have you heard of the knot deer, the bell witch, the hiker called mostly Harmless? These aren't campfire tales. These are real encounters, backed by witnesses, journals, and in some cases, bodies. The Appalachian Mountains are hiding something, and we're about to uncover it. Before we step into the shadows of America's most haunted wilderness, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications, because this is just a deep dive into the Appalachian dark. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Welcoming, guys. Welcome to Horror Stories Cafe. Today, I've brought you some of the most spine-chilling and mysterious stories from one of the oldest mountain ranges on Earth, the Appalachian Mountains. These mountains are not only ancient, but they hold within them a vault of secrets and legends that have baffled people for centuries. Their geological formation is believed to have started around 1.1 billion years ago, making them older than even the dinosaurs. Yes, you heard that right. These mountains predate the age of dinosaurs. In fact, no dinosaur fossils have ever been discovered here, a haunting sign that these rocks belong to a much earlier era. Just imagine the bizarre reality that these mountains witnessed a time before life as we know it even existed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Their rocks might have once been part of the Earth's original crust. Over millions of years, the Appalachian Range has gone through dramatic transformations. Once towering like the Himalayas, erosion has gradually smoothed them into the rounded, gentle giants we see today. Stretching over 2,400 kilometers from Newfoundland in Canada to Alabama in the USA, this mountain chain still stands vast and commanding, even if not as tall as it once was. But don't let their present-day appearance fool you. Deep within, they conceal countless secrets that could send shivers down your spine.
Just think, mountains that have stood for more than 1 billion years. What kind of events, creatures, and energies might they have absorbed over time? These peaks and valleys have likely witnessed things far beyond human comprehension. But the Appalachians are not just awe-inspiring because of their age or beauty. What truly sets them apart are the ancient, often terrifying legends woven into their roots. Many of these stories come from the earliest known inhabitants, Native American tribes like the Cherokee and Shawnee. According to these tribes, the mountains were considered sacred, but some places were so feared even the tribesmen refused to enter them. They believed such places were inhabited by spiritual beings or unseen forces that didn't belong to the human world. These tribes often referred to these locations as spirit lands, where the forces of nature seem to conceal something deeply mystical and threatening. In their folklore, the mountains were more than just land. They were alive, watchful, and unforgiving. When European settlers began arriving in the 1600s and 1700s, they too encountered strange, often disturbing phenomena. Many described eerie encounters, disorienting fog, and a deep, unsettling fear that blanketed the forest trails.
There were stories of people who wandered into the woods and vanished without a trace. And those who did come back were often mentally disturbed, unable to recall what had happened. Locals began to whisper about
Mysterious women who lived deep within the forests, women who practiced witchcraft and dark rituals. Some claimed that invisible entities were watching them from the trees, beings that could see you, but you could never see them. Many described encounters with these entities, and they soon came to be known as shadow people. In the year 1930, the now famous Appalachian Trail was officially established. Spanning over 3,500 kilometers, it turned the region into a hotspot for hikers and nature lovers. But soon after, reports of mysterious disappearances began to increase. Several hikers spoke of encountering bizarre footprints, hearing unexplained noises, or sensing a paralyzing silence that didn't feel natural. Despite their untouched beauty, the Appalachian Mountains hold a lingering dread in the air, one that many visitors claim is unlike anything they've ever felt. It's no wonder this region attracts both nature lovers and horror fans in equal measure. Many horror fans actually seek out these mountains for their eerie reputation, but locals often share one piece of advice: do not go into the woods. The legend of the not deer. One of the most unsettling stories to come out of the region is the legend of the not deer. At first glance, it may look like an ordinary deer, but those who've encountered it say its eyes, facial structure, and even its movements are disturbingly human-like. People say it calls out to you from the forest, luring you deeper, and when you follow, it harms you. Then there are tales of the whistlers, a strange whistling sound that seems to come from all directions. The more you try to run from it, the closer it sounds. And if the whistling starts to fade, it's a trap. You're already too close. Some hikers report feeling stalked, even when they're completely alone. The woods are also home to stories of shape-shifting spirits, ghostly figures, witches, and phantoms. Narratives passed down from one generation to the next, surviving through centuries. Let's now turn to a chilling tale from 1891. During the summer of that year, a train heading toward Asheville reached Bostian Bridge around 3 a.m. when it derailed and plummeted into a creek, resulting in the tragic deaths of 22 passengers. No one has ever been able to prove exactly how the accident occurred. After the 1891 Bostian Bridge train wreck, they found conductor Elijah Graves' body, still clutching his silver pocket watch. It had stopped at exactly 3 a.m., the moment the train fell. Legend says if you stand near the bridge at that hour on August 27th, you'll hear a faint ticking in the dark. But if it gets louder, don't look at your watch. it might have stopped too. Many believe this is a case of residual haunting, a ghostly replay of the tragic accident. But the story didn't end there. 70 years later, a group of ghost hunters visited the site to investigate. At exactly 3 a.m., a train once again came speeding down the tracks.
Right for us.
Believing it to be the ghost train, they stood in its path to see if it would pass through them. But tragically, it was a real train. One of the 12 members died, and 2 were seriously injured. If only they had taken proper safety measures or checked the train schedule, their lives might have been spared. The accident was real, but whether that phantom train the woman saw 50 years earlier was a ghost or an illusion remains a mystery. The accident was real. The Bell Witch. Another infamous legend from the Appalachian region is the story of the Bell Witch. It all began when John Bell, his wife Lucy, and their children moved from North Carolina to Adams, Tennessee. In 1817, John claimed to have seen a bizarre creature with the body of a dog and the head of a rabbit. He tried to follow it, but the creature disappeared into the darkness. Not long after that, the Bell family began experiencing unexplainable phenomena. They would hear persistent knocking on doors and windows throughout the night, but when they checked, no one was ever there.
Come closer.
Eventually, the presence invaded their home. Their children's blankets and pillows began to float in midair. Then, the entity began to speak with the voice of an old woman.
Sarah.
The most targeted victim was the Bell daughter. She suffered hair pulling, mysterious bruises, and signs of physical abuse. After every paranormal event, the house would be covered in wet handprints. They once invited their neighbor, James Johnson, to witness the haunting. But the witch suspended him mid-air. In fear, he ran back home. Even Andrew Jackson, who would later become the 7th President of the United States, visited the house before his presidency. 3 years later, John Bell died, and many believe the Bell Witch was responsible. Even today, locals say the Bell Witch still lingers. Those who visit the Bell Witch Cave in Adams, Tennessee, often claim to feel her presence. The Bell Witch legend has inspired multiple pop culture adaptations, including films like The Blair Witch Project and The Bell Witch Hauntings.
The Mothman, one of the most terrifying creatures ever reported in the Appalachian region, is known as the Mothman. This mysterious figure has been the subject of books, documentaries, and even movies, but its origins lie in a truly unsettling real-life event. In 1966, in the town of Point Pleasant, West Virginia, multiple residents began reporting sightings of a giant winged creature, described as having enormous wings, red glowing eyes, and a humanoid figure.
the Mothman would often appear near bridges or roads, always at night. This creature didn't attack anyone, but those who saw it claimed to feel a sense of dread, as if something terrible was about to happen. Over the course of a year, sightings increased, and then something tragic happened. On December 15, 1967, the Silver Bridge in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, collapsed, killing 46 people. Locals believe the Mothman had been warning them about the impending disaster. After the bridge collapsed, all sightings of the Mothman stopped, as if its mission had ended. Some believe the Mothman is not a monster, but an omen, a supernatural being that appears before tragedy. Even now, many travelers claim to have seen a similar figure before major disasters, fueling the belief that the Mothman still watches us from the shadows. In 1952, in Flatwoods, West Virginia, something happened that shook the town forever. That evening, a group of boys were playing when they saw a fiery object streaking across the sky, crashing into a nearby hill. They ran to tell an adult, Kathleen May, a local woman, who joined them along with a National Guardsman. They climbed the hill, expecting to find debris. Instead, they came face to face with a tall, glowing-eyed creature. It stood nearly 10 feet tall, with a spade-shaped head and claw-like hands. One boy fainted on the spot. Others described a pungent, metallic smell and a hissing sound coming from the creature. Terrified, the group ran back to town and reported what they saw. The creature came to be known as the Flatwoods Monster, and to this day, no logical explanation has ever been found. Some claim it was an alien. Others say it was a government experiment gone wrong, but the truth remains hidden. The WAMPUS cat, another story rooted in Native American folklore, tells of a creature known as the WAMPUS cat. According to legend, a woman once spied on a sacred tribal ceremony, something forbidden by the tribe. As punishment, the tribal shaman cursed her, transforming her into a creature that was half human, half panther. Locals have reported seeing this creature deep in the Appalachian forests, described as a cat-like beast with glowing yellow eyes, sometimes walking on 2 legs and sometimes 4. She is believed to protect the woods, attacking those who come with bad intentions, especially poachers or those who disrespect nature. In some areas, the WAMPUS cat is seen as a tragic figure, a woman trapped in a beast's body, forever guarding what she once betrayed. Now it's time for the legendary Bigfoot. Of course, no discussion of Appalachian legends would be complete without talking about the most famous one of all. For decades, people have claimed to see a large, hairy, ape-like creature roaming the Appalachian wilderness. Some say it resembles a bear, but moves like a human. The Bigfoot legend is not unique to Appalachia, but this region has one of the highest numbers of reported sightings in the entire United States. There are hundreds of photos and footprints said to belong to Bigfoot, though skeptics call them hoaxes or misidentifications. Still, many locals firmly believe he exists.
They describe low-pitched howls, twisted tree branches, and massive footprints as signs he's still out there. Some believe Bigfoot is not just an animal, but something supernatural, a guardian or spirit of the forest. Whether real or myth, the tale of Bigfoot continues to haunt the Appalachian woods.
In the Appalachian wilds, some disappear into legend. Others disappear for real. Not all stories from the Appalachians are just folklore. Some are very real and far more heartbreaking. Let's talk about one such case: the disappearance of a woman named Geraldine Largy, also known as Inchworm. In 2013, this 66-year-old nurse set out on a solo hike along the Appalachian Trail. She was experienced and well prepared, but one day she stepped slightly off the trail to go to the bathroom and never found her way back. She sent a text message to her husband saying she was lost, but the message never delivered due to poor cell signal. Despite a massive search effort, she wasn't found until 2 years later when a surveyor stumbled across her tent, her belongings, and her journal. Her diary revealed that she survived alone for 26 days, rationing food, waiting for rescue, before eventually dying of exposure and
starvation. Her story has become a cautionary tale for solo hikers, a haunting reminder of how easy it is
To get lost in the vastness of these ancient forests.
Another case that shook the hiking community was that of a man known only as Mostly Harmless. His real name was later revealed to be Vance John Rodriguez. In 2018, his body was found inside a tent in Big Cypress National Preserve, Florida. No ID, no injuries, just a thin, malnourished body lying silently in a sleeping bag. He had started his journey on the Appalachian Trail, meeting countless hikers along the way. Everyone described him as friendly, but no one knew his real identity or past.
It took 2 years and a team of internet sleuths to finally identify him. Though the exact cause of death remains unknown, many suspect
Dehydration or hunger. What makes this story truly chilling is that he died quietly, unnoticed, in a place thousands hike every year. As we've seen, the Appalachian Mountains are far more than just a beautiful, ancient landscape. They are home to centuries of legends, unsolved mysteries, and real-life tragedies, stories that blur the line between fact and folklore. These mountains have been shaped by time, but they've also been shaped by the stories of those who've lived here and those who vanished. Locals say that the deeper you go into the forest, the thinner the veil becomes between our world and something else. Something that watches, something that listens, something that waits. And maybe, just maybe, the stories we dismiss as myth or superstition, they're not stories at all. They're warnings. Many who enter these woods describe feeling a presence, not threatening, but ancient. A presence that remembers, that records, and sometimes responds. Whether it's the knot deer, the bell witch, the phantom train, or the ghosts of lost hikers, one thing is certain: the Appalachian Mountains are alive with more than just nature. They're alive with memory, sorrow, and mystery. Written into every stone, whispered through every tree, and echoed in every silent trail.
In the next episode, we'll go even deeper into the darkest corners of these ancient hills, uncovering more haunted places, more twisted legends, and more chilling disappearances. Always be brave enough, because sometimes the scariest monsters are the ones that don't want to be found.
If you made it this far, you're braver than most. Drop a log emoji in the comments to let me know you made it out of the woods. And if you want a deeper dive, with more disturbing stories, real locations, and unresolved disappearances, hit that like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments below.
Until next time, stay curious, stay safe, and remember, some trails were never meant to be walked alone.